it does not serve you to have a very low price, because as we all know, if you are the best, you can't be the cheapest, and if you are the cheapest, you cannot be the best. My mentor says that all the time. The lower the perceived risk to work with you, the more you can charge, because people will be willing to pay more to have lower risk. Courtney, how much should I be charging? What should that price be? And so the answer is, Hey, CourtneyLSanders here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to me, I'm a full-time online life and business coach, as well as wife and mom. I wear all the hats and do all the things. And I do it because I'm so passionate about helping you turn your success story into a 6 or even 7-figure coaching brand. But in order to make even 1 figure, right, we have to know how to price our programs. And this is a constant question that I get asked a lot. How much should I be charging? I think by now, people who are familiar with my channel are well aware that they're probably undercharging because of limiting beliefs around their mindset and what people will pay. But the question is, okay, if I'm willing to actually create a real coaching program that's a real value and put a real price tag to it, Courtney, how much should I be charging? What should that price be? And so the answer is, it depends, right? Well, what does it depend on? It depends on a few things, but if you watch this entire video, you should get clarity on how much you should charge for your coaching program. And so with that, we'll get into it right now. All right, the first thing you have to keep in mind when it comes to your coaching program pricing is you have to clean up your own money mindset first. So oftentimes we think about what we've spent money on or how much we're getting paid in our 9-to-5 job, and we tend to project our own finances on the finances of our target market. But remember, you are not the buyer, your client is the buyer. And so with that in mind, you want to think through these other points that I'm going to be giving you in order to come up with an appropriate price for your coaching program. So again, stay out of your own pockets, right? You are not buying your program, your clients are. And so with that in mind, keep in mind these 5 things. All right, the first thing that you want to keep in mind is, what is the ROI that you are offering? Meaning, whatever result or transformation that you are offering through your coaching program, what is the return on the investment for the client? And when I say this, people think I'm automatically talking about money, but not necessarily. If you are a health and wellness coach that specializes in helping couples, overcome infertility naturally, what is the return on the investment for that, right? For something like that, it would almost be priceless. But you want to think about, what are people currently spending in order to solve that problem? People are spending tens of thousands of dollars, whether it be on adoption or infertility drugs, etc. And so when you think about the investments that people are already making to solve that problem, you can have a greater understanding on what the return on investment would be by working with you in your coaching program. So a little figure that I like to think about is, you want to charge around 10 to 20% of whatever the total value of what they are going to get is ultimately worth. So again, if people are spending tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of dollars on getting a certain solution in their life, whether it be, in my example, infertility or health or what have you, then you can charge appropriately, right? Anywhere from 10 to 20%, because really it's a deal when they think about working with you versus going through the other alternatives. The other thing that you want to keep in mind when we talk about return on investment is, you want to be clear about the actual type of client that you are talking to. So there might be a type of result that you offer in general, but not all clients are created equal, and not all return on investments are created equal. So depending on the client, they might be getting a high ROI for the same thing. Another example that I'll give is maybe in the area of professional styling. You might be a stylist and you love working with women. However, maybe if you work with stay-at-home moms, there's one level of return on investment that a stay-at-home mom would get. But perhaps if you work with corporate professional women who have just, gotten a new promotion, and so now they need a new wardrobe to match this new level that they're operating at, obviously, even though it's the same type of work, the return on investment is going to be higher with the corporate professional woman than it would be with the stay-at-home mom, because the stay-at-home mom, her audience is her family. Before the corporate professional woman, her audience might be other people at her job, stakeholders, clients. There's other people involved that make that situation of her getting her wardrobe together, the stakes are higher, right? So you want to ask yourself, how high are the stakes for the target market that you're talking to? And so based on the level of the stakes for the client that you're talking to, that will help you think through what the ROI is for them as well. And then again, you can do that 10% formula. All right, the second thing that you'll want to keep in mind when you are coming up with your pricing is what is the perceived risk to work with you? So clients don't realize they're doing this, but they do it on a subconscious level. When someone is completely unknown and they don't have any testimonials, there is a higher level of risk. That's not to say that people won't take that risk, but in their mind, they're subconsciously discounting how much they're willing to pay because they're trying to accommodate for that risk. However, if you have a lot of testimonials, if your brand is built out, if you're more well-known, then it feels like less of a risk because it's like, oh, this person is known. Everybody knows that they have the ability in order to help people get this certain result. Such and such went through their program, and I heard from my best friend that she went through their program, and look at all these testimonials on their website. The perceived risk is lower. And so when the perceived risk is lower, the price that people are willing to pay is higher. And so you'll want to think about, honestly and objectively, as a person in your coaching industry who is either starting out or maybe you're established, based on the testimonials that you have, your branding, everything that you have with your brand as it stands right now, would the perceived risk be high to work with you? Would it be medium to work with you? Or would it be low to work with you? The lower the perceived risk to work with you, the more you can charge because people will be willing to pay more to have lower risks. But if the perceived risk is high to work with you, then people are subconsciously gonna start discounting your price a little bit in their mind because they want an accommodation for the risk they feel they are taking by joining you on your coaching program. All right, I have more where that came from, but first I wanna hear from you. How much are you thinking about charging for your coaching program? Share in the comments below. All right, the third thing that you need to keep in mind when it comes to pricing your coaching program is how much you actually want to make in your business. Now, no one can make this decision for you because you are the one that has to get up every day and do the work to run your business, to do the branding, to man the ships. If you're hiring people, you're the one that has to make sure that everybody gets paid on time and everybody has things that they are doing that makes your business run. So you decide what it's worth to you. And so if you decide that you want a 6-figure or a multi-6-figure or even a 7-figure business, you're gonna have to back into your numbers and think about how many coaching programs are you anticipating you can actually sell? How many coaching programs do you want to sell? Is your coaching program one-on-one? Is it group? Is it something that's scalable, or is it something that's gonna take a lot of your time? When you factor all of these things in and you think about the amount of people that you have to work with and then the revenue numbers ultimately that you want to hit, what do you need to be charging in that coaching program in order to hit those revenue numbers based on the amount of people that you are willing to take on? So it's gonna be some kind of backwards math, but once you do that backwards math, that will help you think through what you need to be charging for your coaching program, because what is the point of doing all of this if you are not even hitting the revenue goals that make sense for you and your family? All right, the fourth thing that you need to keep in mind is how accountable do you want the clients to be to their own results? And your pricing does have something to do with that. So when I think about something like a book, right? Maybe I purchase a book on a topic that I'm really interested in or something that I need help with, but the book is only $10. You know, I might not even finish the book. I might skip around. I might, read it halfway through or listen to it on Audible. And I may or may not be, able to get the result because there's a low accountability, because ultimately I, as the client, paid a very low price. And so typically the higher the price someone pays, the more accountable they are to the result, because the money that they spend is actually holding them there, right? The investment is holding them to actually take action. And so you want to think about, what is the transformation that you're offering? Is this something that is difficult for people? Is it something that they typically struggle with? Is there a lot of inner work that they need to do, or anything that's going to make them uncomfortable? Honestly, the harder the transformation, truly the higher you should be charging, because you need the price itself to act as a level of accountability to ensure that the clients actually go through with your coaching. Because nothing is worse than charging too low for your coaching and then having clients who halfway show up to calls, or maybe they cancel calls, they don't do their homework, and then of course they don't get the results, but they're blaming you and they're saying, I joined that coaching program and it didn't work. No, you didn't charge them enough to change, and so the pricing didn't hold them accountable. So you want to be thinking through, how much do you need to charge them to change when it comes to the transformation that you offer inside of your coaching program. All right, the fifth thing that you want to keep in mind is, how are you looking to brand yourself? If you want to brand yourself as the premier provider of this particular transformation in the coaching industry, it does not serve you to have a very low price, because as we all know, if you are the best, you can't be the cheapest, and if you are the cheapest, you cannot be the best. My mentor says that all the time. So you want to be thinking about, how are you positioning yourself in the marketplace? Are you positioning yourself as someone who can actually get results, results, well then guess what? Your prices need to be in alignment with that. If you are insecure about your offer, or you're thinking, oh my goodness, I'm brand new, and so I wanna charge super low, understand that you are essentially communicating to the world that you are of a lower standard because your price is reflective of that. So price has a lot to do with promotion. It has a lot to do with branding as well. Think about the positioning of your service in the coaching industry and make sure you are choosing a price that aligns you with where you want to be when people think about whether you are at the top or at the bottom of your industry. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, you're going to love my Nail Your Niche Challenge. This is a free, for now, 5-day challenge that I run that teaches you exactly what you need to do in order to nail your niche over the course of 5 days. And nailing your niche is very important because that goes into knowing how much to charge for your program when you know who those clients are and how you can find those high ROI clients. And I talk about all of that and more inside of the Nail Your Niche Challenge. So this is a bit of an experiment that I'm doing. I can't promise that I'm gonna be doing it for free forever. So if you click the link below right now and there are spots available and you see that it's free, go ahead and sign up because it may not be free in the future. So you can click the link below to register now. All right, thanks so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And if you want even more where this came from, make sure you're subscribed to my podcast, The Courtney Sanders Show. And if you can't wait for my next podcast or my next YouTube video, make sure that you are following me on Instagram, where I post daily and I post on my stories and share the behind the scenes of my life. And with that, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.